Okay, welcome back everybody to the next segment on the What's on Your Mind video series that I'm doing for the 2023 campaign. This one is now kind of maybe a little bit harder question, but it's one that I appreciate receiving is, what are your biggest concerns facing Tazewell County? You know, what are the things that keep you up at night, and what are the things that you worry about? Unfortunately, there are a lot of things in my position as your representative on the Board of Supervisors that worry me. But the three things that I think, for purposes of this, I'd share with you is, one, we have to remember we are still a rural community in far Southwest Virginia. And while for those of us born and raised here, that may be a blessing, when it comes to attracting industry and even attracting other people to our region, it poses a challenge for some of the reasons we've talked about maybe in some of the other video series we've done. The healthcare, your education, these are things that are real challenges to growing your community. And it's not always, easy to recruit people to come to rural Southwest Virginia. For anybody involved in the healthcare world, we've seen this, as a glaring reality when our hospitals would try to recruit doctors, they would have a hard time getting the applicants that maybe wanted because there was not much to offer here for the rest of their families. And that's just a part of the reality of where we are. The second thing is, I guess if you look at the numbers statistically in the 2020 census, Tazewell County's population declined by about 10%. Our population was like 440,429 people in 2020, which was down about 10%. So what that tells those of us in this position from the census perspective is that you're losing people, you're losing your population. That doesn't give you an explanation why, it just reports on what the raw data is on those numbers. Fewer people means fewer kids. Fewer kids mean fewer schools. Fewer people means smaller business, has a hard time making money. It's just the declining population has a domino effect to what is available to be sustainable in your community. Everybody wants to know, why don't we have TJ Maxx? Why don't we have a Target? You don't have those things simply because you don't have a population base that is sufficient in the corporate world to sustain that type of industry, so they don't choose to locate here. The other thing that is really still concerning for everybody is we still have a drug problem in Tazewell County. The substance abuse problem, not only does it hurt our families and our citizens directly with the impacts of substance abuse, but it is very damaging to our workforce. When those industries that we want to come here start looking at us and see the problems we have with substance abuse, they don't have a lot of faith in our workforce. Also, it strains our resources. When we have an ongoing drug problem, that strains the work our sheriff's department does, that strains the capacity of our jails, both of which require more and more resources to be able to meet the need. So it's a continuing problem that we face, and one of my bigger concerns. Mental health, I think, would be on this list, because I don't think we do enough to address the mental health issues that we have, and that I think relates to probably part of the healthcare discussion that we had earlier. So those are some of my biggest concerns for Tazewell County. Hope that answered some of your questions.